stop and take a little time out with me. Just take 5.
Yo. All right.
Yo.
Here we are at Take 5 Pod. Y'all know what to do. Follow us everywhere. You know, we got a little Memorial Day weekend pod going. A little bit short-handed, but we gonna handle this real quick. Got a few things to talk about, some storylines to follow. And yeah, so what y'all doing for Memorial Day?
Inside.
Yeah, I'm probably. Actually, I'll probably be outside tonight. But other than that, I should be inside.
You're not gonna put nothing on the grill, Drew? Like,
not even.
Crazy. I don't know. I really need to find a pool or something. Like,
is there a pool at your crib?
Yeah, that I've never used.
Mine is just freezing. Like, mine is so cold.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm more of a beach than pool type of guy. Like,
and just
lucky you need to slide this weekend. Like I told you, like we should go to Bryson. We should go to Bryson concert on Sunday. Like,
yeah, just slide after the pod. Like, what? That's a couple hours drive.
Like 3.5, 4. Like,
oh, see. Julian toxic trait is he thinks I could just, pop up in Miami, what I'm saying? Just, drop some bread on Bryson real quick. And,
bro, you have a place to stay. Like,
I mean, for sure, that's half the battle. Do I have food to eat? Like,
yes, you have food to eat if you get here.
Not if you're not putting nothing on the grill. Like, I disagree.
Crazy. I'll put something on the stove. Maybe a microwave.
Maybe the air fryer, like
we can arrange a few things for you.
It's very crazy. It's very, very crazy. Anyways, let's get into this. So we got to talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Released by the Cardinals. What was y'all's reaction to this?
Yeah, it was coming. Like it was either that or he was gonna get traded. So. Now it's the D-Hop sweepstakes, so he's kind of already exposed like the list of like quarterbacks he would potentially want to play with, and it's pretty much who you would expect. So
I mean, he generally just named the top quarterbacks in the league, like, and I'm looking at Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so it's like. Now that maybe he'll go play with the real one and go to be more play with Lamar, build up that roster a little bit.
It's very possible. How old is this man?
I mean, he's like near Julio's age, so he's getting old. Like, okay, he's still good. I mean, he's still good. Maybe for like 1 or 2 more seasons, I would say he'll still be. Really like that.
You gotta, how they say, load manage him a little bit.
Yeah,
get him to the playoffs, and then like he'll be.
I would like to see him. I like to see him with the Ravens too, though.
Yeah,
as a primary.
Yeah,
kind of sure. I don't know. It's weird to tell because Odell hasn't played for like. A year and a half at least, or like 2 seasons, so like
a year and a half. He's better than Odell right now. Probably.
How good is he though? Like, are we talking about a top 10 guy in the league?
D-Hop?
Hopkins.
I mean,
probably at his best. Like, it's hard. Like, when you get old, it's really like it's a year by year thing. But
yeah, like you never know like when he'll start turning to.
He's still a sure pair of hands.
Like, yeah, sure. I think he'll be nice. Maybe not for like he used to go for 1,400 yards. Like, I don't think he has that anymore. But like he can still go for, I don't know. He can have a few 100-yard games, especially when you need it. Like, I think he's like that still.
I mean, y'all know how I am. I'm about banners. You know what I'm saying? I'm about chips. You know what I'm saying? So, like, is he moving the needle for a Ravens team? That's my question.
Yeah,
he would help. He would help a lot. Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, they will be stacked. They drafted a receiver first round. They got Odell. They have Mark Andrews. Like J.K.'s coming back. Lamar's got a new offensive coordinator. Like they would be like that would be the best Ravens roster that Lamar ever had by
Yeah,
Io. Like they haven't had a good offense ever. Honestly,
they haven't had a receiving core, like so.
yeah. So if he could get 3 now, like if
This
he
would
has
make it
3 receivers, and
I
they
mean,
have Bateman too, so really 4. Like, yeah,
he has an old line.
Yeah, they've been solid usually.
Yeah,
Like,
they're good.
they'll be fine. It's not hard to block for Lamar. Like you have to be really bad to not be able to block.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's basically, he's a running back too. You know what I'm saying? So like, you definitely have to be able to, block. Like
that helps him though. Like because he's a running back, that helps them be able to block, especially run blocking. Like they have an extra blocker because the real running back, can block for him too. So.
Yeah, for sure. So that's where y'all are placing your money on the Ravens getting them.
No, I'm not. I want to see that, but like I would probably bet like Bills need him more. I don't know if they have the cash for it. Who else did he say? Oh, Chiefs. I could see that. Yeah, I would say Bills and Chiefs. I could see both of those honestly because they need him.
The Chiefs have the cash for it.
The Chiefs do. I'm pretty sure. Chiefs do. Because the Mahomes contract is good.
But like maybe he'll just take it. Like he'll take a pay cut. Like.
Yeah, he's not gonna get paid like first option receiver. I don't think so. So
I mean, okay, yeah. If you look at the Chiefs, like
yeah, they might win a game. I'm not gonna lie.
So he's looking for the chip at this point. Is what we're trying to get. Like what we're trying to get to.
Yeah. I mean, based on those teams, yeah, he is. And the Cardinals are just a dumpster fire of a franchise. Like, they're just a terrible franchise right now. So I'm glad he got out. Like, he needed to be gone. Is Buda Baker gone? I don't remember, but Buda Baker needs to be gone too.
I think he's still on the team
because they just need to get rid of everyone who's good in because they're not anything.
Everyone that's tough, yeah, he's still on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, like what are the Cardinals doing? It's like I don't really understand. Like what are they doing?
I mean, they're just bad. Like
I mean, they just like when Kyler got hurt, like that just like I feel like that's just the beginning of a rebuild because they fired the coach.
But
these guys are all leaving. Like
the whole mess last year with his contract extension, like. When they were starting to add the film clause, like that's when I kind of already knew like
it was getting bad. Yeah,
team serious. Like
it was getting terrible. So
I mean, but how do you rebuild with a Kyler Murray? At the helm. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you not trying to build around this man? Like, what's going on?
Maybe, but he's not going to play. He's not going to play half of this year. So this year is thrown in the trash. They have a new coach. Like, it's just not a good situation. Like, everyone's leaving. Like, they just lost their best player. They're going to lose Buda Baker, I'm pretty sure, too. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame, really. Yeah. Any more on D-Hop before we get back into some NBA talk? Just a shame. Just a shame, really. Anywho. All right, so I guess I'll start here with the one we got on slide. So this came out, little report talking about flopping in the NBA. It has been an ongoing problem. You have your list of names that flop more than others. Your Joel Embiid's, your Marcus Smart's, Dennis Schroeder's. They plan to penalize the flop with the technical foul and a free throw in the game. Do y'all think that they'll implement this first and foremost?
I don't know. Like I have to see how the little trial goes. They said it says summer league.
Summer league, yeah.
So like I guess I have to kind of see how that plays out. But like
they're not even like that in the summer league. Like that's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They aren't.
They should try it in the G League. Like
I agree.
You need to do like a season in your like minor league system and kind of how baseball is doing. Like you try this stuff. Then I know like over the past few years, like they've been doing like a fine or whatnot if you flop, or if it's like an egregious flop, I guess. But
Yeah.
that doesn't really get honored either. Like it has to be like it has to be insane. Like we don't even see that many fines. Like even though players are constantly flopping, so I mean, maybe they add it, but like I don't think it really changes too much. Because like the refs, they still get worked. Like they still just get got. Like a player will flop. Like they'll just call the foul. Like they don't see that real time.
Yeah, that goes into human error as well. Like, who are they to determine what a flop is? You know what I'm saying? In real time, like that can be hard unless they stop a review of play or something along that nature. And to your point, like in summer league, nobody's flopping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like these guys are playing
they're playing hard. Yeah, exactly. Like
you know what I mean? Like they're not really about that. So I don't really know.
I think that's a poor trial, like because it's probably not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I like the NBA because they respond to all the criticism, all the chatter and discourse around the league. Like in flopping, it's been an issue. I just don't. When I first saw this post, I just don't know how you in real time are going to determine if somebody's flopping or not, unless it's very egregious, unless it's like come on, man, like you flying across the baseline or something like that when Austin Reeves push you, like sure, I guess, like but I don't know about that. I think
they should start like auto teaming them up when they start complaining to the refs, like just so they can shut up with that. Like,
I mean, that should be a fine too.
Yeah, like stop complaining. Like, just play basketball. Like, get back on defense, and get back on defense.
They should have a clause like if your palms are to the sky, more than 3 times a game, you should get a fine. Like that should just be what it is. Like
delay of game. Delay of game. Like
something technical foul. I don't know something, man. But more NBA talk. Carmelo announces retirement from the NBA after 19 seasons via social media. Big ups to him. I just don't think he wanted to play overseas or like go through that whole thing. Like I feel like he still had years in him, honestly. Bello?
I thought if you're that good,
I'm not gonna lie, like I thought he was already retired. Like I just
so
if he's that great on the roster. Yeah, like when you're that great of a player for most of your career, like why would he even drag it now?
Yeah,
like
I mean, he still. I feel like he still has more to offer.
He could still be a shooter like he was. In the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, like we talk about a guy like Kevin Love, reinventing himself at his old age to, still be an effective starter on the Miami.
Yeah, like he's old, dude. Like he's 38, 39. Like he was him and LeBron were the last people from the 2003 class. Like they were the oldest in the league. So it's like it's clip. At this point, it's clip. Like
if he was on an NBA roster, I feel like he could play a Kevin Love role. If I could ask Bello to grab me some boards, make some threes, like I feel like he definitely could have done that. I don't know.
He could, but like I don't think that he wants to do that. Like not anymore.
Guess not. And his son's up next, honestly. So we'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have come back to the Kyrie. I would have come back to the Kyrie and Luka situation because that's been developing. I have a little bit more about that, but I want to get into this. So Scottie Pippen, he is on somebody's podcast in front of somebody's camera, talking about Michael Jordan. And honestly, we really just have to listen and see what he said. So let's go ahead and listen to what he said.
So, does that make him the greatest player to ever play the game? I'll leave that out for debating because I don't believe that there's a great player because our game is a team game and one player can't do it. Like I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player. He was horrible to play with. He was all one-on-one. He's shooting bad shots. And all of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was.
Yeah, little technical differences, but no, I know what he said. Like, I did see the clip and read about it, but like, I, like I don't know if the back end showed what he said, but like he was talking about just like he was just a straight isolation player, blah blah blah. Like didn't want to pass the ball, which like that like nah, like, you can't hate on your homie like that. Or maybe it's not even your homie, but like
I mean, they're definitely not homies. Like,
yeah,
like at this point, it's way too far gone. Like,
yeah.
the Last Dance was like one of the last straws, honestly. And then like now that his ex-wife's getting hit by Mike's son now, like, I feel like it's just like a bit too. It's a bit too far, you know. Like I don't think he can recover from that.
No, that's
So I feel like there's just a lot of it's just a lot of hate coming through his end of the screen right now. That's what it sounded like. You said Mike's a terrible player. Like to say Mike's a terrible player, it's just insane. Like,
Well, just for some context, so Michael Jordan, he was drafted, in the 84-85 season. I'm looking at it, he averaged 28 points on let's see, 53% shooting. Not messed up the mic, but yeah, 28 off 53% shooting. It wasn't until Scottie Pippen got there in '87, of course, and at that point, Mike was averaging 37 a game. Scotty. Like I like Julian alluded to. This is a personal, it's definitely personal. It's definitely a personal vendetta. He's definitely very bitter about, about everything that's transpired with Mike and his name. But to say he was a horrible player, horrible.
Horrible.
You're dragging it, man. You definitely dragging it. I can't believe that he actually that came out of his mouth. Right, like
it's insane. It's insane.
And then the problem I have is he's insinuating that it wasn't until he got there and they had a team, you know what I'm saying, that Michael Jordan was, held as this great player. We all know. Well, I guess maybe we all know, but we watched Last Dance, you know what I'm saying? We know about Michael Jordan's career. He had to be coached, you know what I mean? Like, you had to bring in some good coaching in there. We talk about Phil Jackson. And yes, the roster had to fill out for them to make runs, etc. But he, it just seems like he discredited the progression of every NBA player. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to be no NBA player is going to be great their rookie year. You know what I mean? There's things you have to learn. You have to, get some size, get into the weight room. You know what I mean? I just feel like this came from a personal place, like very, very deep inside of his heart. And I don't know, man. Scotty, it's just bitter. It's just bitter.
Yeah, that was pitiful. I'm not gonna lie.
Like it's a shame, man. I don't know. But I guess we have to talk about the modern day Mike. You know what I'm saying? Hitty Butler. Right. Actually, let me see if I can. Let me see. I want to ask you, dude. So tell us, what would your stats be on Jimmy? What would your stats be on Jimmy if they come back down 3-0?
Number one, they're not gonna lose the series. Like, I don't know why people are overreacting like this. Like, I feel like they're still gonna win. Like, yes, they did lose 2 games in a row, but like, I don't think they're gonna lose 4 in a row. Honestly, I see it ending tonight, and even they are in major trouble if it does. If it goes to Game 7, they're in major trouble. But even if it goes to 7, I'm just gonna bet on the odds of them winning. Like, I don't think they're gonna lose 4 games in a row. Like, even if they go to 7 games, I think they're still gonna win in Boston. Like, I really do. Even though all my men will be snatched, like, just no, like, I don't think 4 in a row is a lot. Like that's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games. Miles,
It's
and they
like-
completely come that.
Dude, the Heat, yeah, I'm of the opinion like if the Celtics do somehow win tonight in Miami, like Game 7, it's over. Like we'll probably see like the Heat get wiped up like the 76ers did. Like
Nah, what's it called? It was crazy though. Like the last game, the last game, I felt like was BS. Like the Celtics just came out so hot. Like they didn't miss. Nobody missed in the first quarter. Like Derek White was hitting step back threes. Marcus Smart made every corner shot he took. Jaylen Brown suddenly learned how to shoot threes again. Like everybody was hitting in that first quarter. I think they scored like 40. It's like after that, like the game was basically over. And Gabe Vincent was out, so they just didn't have enough firepower to ever bring it all the way back. But like if he plays tonight, and they're like full strength, like I feel like that'll be fine. And the Celtics are not shooting like the Celtics will not shoot like that again. I don't think so. If they do, then yes, like they'll win. If they shoot like that. But if Derek White's hitting step back threes, you just have to tip your cap, like because that shouldn't ever happen. That should never happen.
I feel like we gloss over, many of the facts that occurred that night. You know what I mean? Yes, the Celtics hit shots. That's their game. You know what I mean? They shoot a lot of threes, and if they make a lot of threes, then yes, it will be tough. It will be very tough. But I feel like this is more about the Heat. I mean, when we talk about the Heat stars and their players, right? Jimmy Butler has been averaging something like 31 in the rest. Like he's been doing everything for this team.
Mm-hmm.
When you take that away, you know what I mean? When you take that away, this team becomes very regular. I had a lot of people
they can't afford it. They can't afford it. Jimmy can't have a bad game and they win. Like that would never happen.
That's what I'm saying.
They can't
So
afford that.
when you do walk in the TD Garden and you only shoot the ball 10 times, okay?
I mean, he also only played 3 quarters. So
it's because the game was over.
It was over. Yeah,
the game was over. But like,
It was
did you
over.
want him to jack up 20 in the first 3? Like, that's not really how he played. He scored. I'm pretty sure he didn't miss in the second half. Like he hit obvious shots in the third, but like he did have a bad first half. But he had obvious shots in the second half. But like they just could never bring it all the way back.
See,
they made runs,
but we both know that Jimmy Butler is a Band-Aid player. You know what I mean? Whatever they get cut, he's going to do whatever it takes, whether it's assisting the ball, whether it's rebounding the ball, whether it's scoring the ball, in order to keep this team afloat. I didn't see that night at all in any capacity. In fact, he looked timid, Julian. He looked like he did not want to shoot the ball. Let me explain. No. Let me explain. Actually, let me go back to my stats. Bam Adebayo, 8 of 15 shooting. He shot the ball more than Jimmy Butler. When should that ever happen? When should that ever occur?
Bro, there's scenarios in which Jimmy is not always going to shoot. Like,
what scenario?
He doesn't force it. Like, he does not force it. Like, yes, like sometimes he'll go for 30, 40, 50. Like, when that's what the game plan is, like when that's what's needed, like that's what he's going to do. But like in this game, like they're doubling him sometimes. Like they're trapping him. Like, yeah, like he passes the ball and they were missing.
So you're going to get on live. You're going to get on air and tell me that they're trapping Jimmy Butler that night.
I'm talking about when he was driving. They didn't trap on the drive?
They loaded up. No, they didn't trap.
Okay, fine. They brought the double. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes.
They forced him left, is what you're trying to say.
No, not forcing. That, number one, that scenario, that has to stop. I'm not going to lie. That has to stop. Like, that narrative has to stop. The Jimmy can't go left narrative is crazy. Like, number one, like, I saw that. I'll be watching the game sometimes and they'll send him left and he just goes left and lays someone viciously. Like he just goes left, goes up, bodies whoever's at the rim and just lays them. Like, what are we talking about? He can go left, he can go right, he can do everything. Like, let's not do that.
All right, Julian. Let's keep this strictly basketball. You know, we get into no. We get into narratives. You know what I'm saying? We both get into narratives. Like let's keep this strictly basketball when we do this stuff.
For sure.
All right. The Celtics, they've made an adjustment on this man. Would you agree?
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The length is bothering him a little bit. Okay.
Bro, you think that Robert? You're talking about Williams and them? Like
they're doing a good job.
They can't guard him. Like he just missed shots that he's gonna make tonight. You can expect a 40 burger from Jimmy in a closeout. I'm just gonna let y'all know.
I can expect him to shoot the ball more than 10 times.
And you can expect. I would bet if I'm betting tonight on prospects, I'm gonna bet Jimmy fantasy score over. He missed the last game because he didn't play in the fourth quarter.
I mean,
if he plays the whole night, he's going to hit the over because he's going to have a 30-plus burger, multiple like 5 assists, 6 rebounds, and like 3 to 4 blocks and steals, like combined. Like that's going to happen tonight in a closeout. Send them boys back home crying.
Clip it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely have to clip it because I'm hoping you're right. I'm definitely hoping you're right. I'm no Celtics fan. Like, let's make no confusion. Like I am no Celtics fan, but what I've seen from these games, the past 2 games though, is 1, the Celtics gaining confidence in the 3-point shot. 2, in addition to that, really, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they're getting more confident in their ability to score the basketball. Okay. We know these guys can go for 40, 50 if they have that confidence in themselves. Okay. We definitely watched Tatum explode the last series against Philly. It can happen again, right? And last but not least, I saw more defensive adjustments, more things that they can build on for this game that they're going to bring to the table. Like we talk about, forcing Jimmy left. We talk about making Adebayo, a primary scorer on their team. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very dicey. The Miami Heat have to hit a lot of threes in order to win this game tonight. And I don't know if they will.
Also, like last game was just BS in general. Cause like, the Heat just didn't have enough firepower. Like without Vincent, like they don't like obviously like number one, the team is not that talented to start because like guys like Vincent, Cody Martin, they're not that good anyway. Like they're playing well, but like they're not that great of players. So if you would take them out of the equation and have to insert like a Kyle Lowry into a full-time starting role right now, which obviously like it's not that he can't do it, but like he's old. Like that's not gonna work versus the Celtics, especially on a night when they're shooting well. Like that can't work. So I think if Vincent can come back and play meaningful minutes like as himself, like I think they'll be fine. I really do.
I don't know if he can. Like
yeah, I mean I don't know how bad his injury is.
No, you gotta suit up. There's no excuse. Like
I heard he was gonna play.
You have to suit up. Like,
but yeah, he needs to play well.
I've always been taught to never play with my food.
I mean, yeah, they need to handle this early. They need to come out, Also, I think that it's also a cultural thing. Like the Heat will be fine. Like they're not gonna play like soft. Like they're not gonna come out unprepared. I think they're gonna come out for real. Like I really do. And I don't think the Celtics will. The Celtics are just like they're young and they just seem unserious to me this year. I'm not like they really do.
No, I mean, we heard that man Mazzulla after game 3. Like,
yeah, he said he lost the locker room. They're not winning the series.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Like, I hope y'all are right because, again, not only will I have to, talk to Julian, but I'm going to have to talk to all of these people on Twitter talking about, the NBA is rigged. Da-da-da-da-da. And,
the NBA is rigged if they win.
Anyways. All right. So we're talking about the Celtics. So I got another clip for us. It's a little bit of a longer clip, but it's another hot topic in the league that we got right now. Let's do it a Celtics player. So let's see.
Because I want to know, will there ever be a time in our lives where the hand check comes back? Is that going? Is this kind of the wave in which we're going now?
I'll answer it coming from the fan in me. which is, and maybe data comes into play here because I can look at television ratings and other measures of interest. There was a point, I believe, probably in around the late 90s when the game became too physical. And I think we lost some of
For our viewers, you mean?
Yeah, and I think for our fans, from the aesthetic enjoyment of the game, where it de-emphasized the particular skill a player had and maybe weighted too heavily physicality, where a big, strong player could come in and prevent a incredibly skilled player from doing those kinds of things. I think of, not that he's a small guy, but a smaller player like Steph Curry can do on the floor. I think that when you think of some of his ability to shoot, his ability to move through the paint, that if guys could just bang him and knock him to the ground, as that was once the case in the league, I don't think that would be a better brand of basketball. I also think we have to find the right balance, because I know when I sit in the stands or talk to friends sometime, they want to bring back, and we've tried to bring back a little bit more of the physicality. Like, I think people like to see hard defense. I mean, it goes a little bit before to what you and I are talking about, like touch and feel. Like, I don't think either people like that idea that guys can go through unscathed and like you're protecting your star players. And in fact, we made some changes this season where sort of, I don't know, the unnatural basketball moves, you know what I'm referring to, and where those were being, players were gaming the system in a way. And they, brilliant players playing by the rules, had found ways where those were becoming defensive fouls. So we reset this year, which is something you got to do in the offseason. You don't want to change mid-course, but we made it clear, those players, that that's no longer going to be a foul. And of course, because they're the greatest players, they adjust and they find other ways to score.
Okay. Little interview, KG, Adam Silver. Has the NBA gone soft?
Yes, the NBA is soft. Like, and I'm not even gonna compare it to like something like that's way different, like the 80s, like 70s, like things like the old heads talking about. Like, we can just take it back like a decade, like when we were watching basketball. Like, I remember watching basketball like when I was younger. Like, it was definitely more physical than it is now, and not even more physical. Like, players are still like the same. I feel like even players are more athletic now, maybe even stronger, but like the game is softer, if you know what I'm saying. Like, the refs are quick with the whistles. Like, players are hunting for fouls because they know the quick whistles are coming. Like, the game is just way different from how it used to be, and it honestly pisses me off to watch sometimes. Like, that's why that's part of the reason why I don't like to watch regular season, because like they don't try and the refs suck. So it really is just difficult sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't even have too much more to add. Like, we talked about it earlier, like all the complaining and stuff, like with the quick whistles, like just get back and play ball. Like, okay, he tapped you, like he tapped you on the wrist. Like, okay, come on.
Could Steph Curry
be a grown man?
So could Steph Curry, be Steph Curry 15 years ago, let's say?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before. Like, yes, 100%.
The great player, I feel like most great players are timeless. Like, maybe not everyone, but almost all of them. Like, I would say like 75% of them would be great in any era.
Well, I will say this, and there's a lot to this. There's many angles we could get into with this conversation, but we don't have big men anymore.
Not real ones. So
we really don't have big men anymore. We talk about the fives that we have in the league. You could point to a Steven Adams. I'd say he's a true five. He's been in the league a long time.
Embiid.
But even Embiid, he's skilled to, I'm just talking about bigs, the glass cleaners.
He'll get down there in the paint though and bang out. Like,
absolutely.
Whereas like some of these other fours and fives, like they're all stretch bigs now. Like,
pretty much.
He's a stretch big. Like, he's just a star. Yeah, like he's skilled for sure, but he's still one of the most physical in the league, I would say.
You know, I can't even like off the top of my like think of starting centers that we have in the league. You know what I mean?
I don't even know.
I feel like it's bad because like Giannis is more physical than all the centers in the league. Like that's how you know. Like that's how you know. Like the league is gone. Like it's not that it's soft. The game's just different. I would say like no centers are banging for real. Like not really. Like Joel's strong and he's like he can bang, but like he doesn't be banging. You know, like not really.
No.
Like he would rather face him a Euro step to the rim and lay it like do a finger roll, which is just throw it. Like I'm sure throw it. But like yeah, Giannis is like the one who really like. See, like the funny thing is, I didn't even really used to like Giannis because, like, I still think Giannis he doesn't have the bag. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he can't close games, and I've always said he was a pretender. But I don't mean a pretender as in not a great player. I just don't think that he would. I can't say that he's going to be the best player in the league because I don't think that he can close a championship and run out or close playoff series or anything like that. Close games.
Close games, yeah.
Like that didn't happen this year when they needed it to happen. Like he went over in the last few minutes. That can't happen, you know. But like, what's it called? I do enjoy watching him play though because he comes out to dominate and take the soul of his opponent, which I do like. That's like, you know, it's like me. Like y'all played with me before. Like I'm gonna put my shoulder into your chest and see if y'all are gonna sit down. You know what I'm saying? No, don't put your glasses back on. I'm going to, you know, drop my shoulder, and Morgan like. We know Morgan can't guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's too little. I drop that shoulder. He just has to backpedal. Pray to God that I miss. But, like, I do enjoy watching Giannis play for that reason, like, honestly.
Anywho, before we get into some throne territory,
Morgan.
You know what I mean? No. Before we get into throne territory, all right? I'm still talking about glass cleaners. You know what I'm saying?
There's no glass cleaners. Not really.
Like, they're gone. So
there is none.
My question is, what about a Jokic? A 2-time MVP. You know what I'm saying? About to be, you know. Well, we'll see if he, you know, wins the finals. I think he probably will. The way this is you know, rounding up. He's resting comfortably right now. Could he play 15 years ago? When we actually had bigs, you know what I'm saying? We actually did have the Tim Duncans, you know, maybe the Kevin Garnetts down there, you know what I mean? Like the real.
I mean, like he would definitely still get like scored on, but like okay, he like offensively, I think he would still be as good as he is now. Like,
nah, he would be doing them, but he'd be doing them, but
he can give it to you from all three levels, and then he's an elite passer. Like, it would get sticky that back then.
Honestly, he may have been fired then because like the game was like when the game was slower. Like he may have been more nasty. Honestly, like Joker is nasty. Offensively, he's super nasty. like Anthony Davis, like great defender, one of the best of all time. I would say. Like,
but he's a 4.
Yeah, he is a 4, but like he was at Joker's mercy. Like, if we're being real, like yeah, he can affect Joker, but like he can't really do anything with that boy. Like, to be honest, so I don't think any of those other guys could either. Tim Duncan would have been done bad by him because I think he's too little. I think he's too little. I really do. He's not big enough.
Yeah, let's not be disrespectful though. Like, let's not be disrespectful.
If Anthony Davis can't guard him, I don't think Tim Duncan can. I really don't. I'm just being real. I don't. He's a 4 too.
Yeah, these are
for sure. But we're talking about the 5-time champion.
Yeah, that's cool. KG, no,
cool.
Like
KG,
Tim Duncan,
I don't know.
KG, all them boys would be too small. Like, yeah, the fives, the best fives ever would have a shot. Hakeem, yeah, he would have a shot because like he was nimble-footed and big. Like he's one person I would say could have a shot. Him and like David Robinson. Everyone else though. Like almost everyone else is getting put in a blender, and they actually may get put in a blender too. Like they.
But do you see what I'm alluding to though? He's doing this against 4s, a bunch of 4s.
He's doing it
a bunch of 6'10" guys.
I'm just saying he's doing it to 7-footers too. Like he did it to everyone. Nobody can do anything with them. They can't. Like
you just told me there's no center.
No. He would have got dominated though. No. Defensively, he would have got dominated. Like
destroyed.
Yeah, if he had to go guard Hakeem will put him in the paint and dunk on him. Like
Yeah,
you see
like
what
a,
Joel does to him.
a Shaq matchup. Like, yeah,
They would dominate him.
he's getting put in the basket for sure.
But they can't do anything with him on offense, though. Absolutely not. Like, no, that boy is nasty. He's nasty. Nah, he's nasty.
Yeah, hey, that's all I'm saying. I don't know, but the other aspect I want to get into with the refs though is I don't know if refs are. I don't know if it's that they're bad and soft or whatever it is, but wouldn't y'all say it's the inconsistency of the calls that we have nowadays? Like sometimes we don't know what a flagrant foul is. You know, we don't know what's a tech. Some games, you know, they'll blow the whistle every 5 seconds. Other games, like this last Boston Heat game, I felt like they really didn't blow the whistle that much. That's just how I felt about it. Like I saw a lot of contact, you know, no calls. I think it's the inconsistency that needs to change. Like I feel like they need a, you know, more uniform way to call. Honestly,
No, that's right. And like my worst gripe with the officiating is like the late whistles. Like when they always blow a whistle like after the shot misses. Like,
but like they wait to see if it goes in or if it's out. Like just if it's a foul, like just call it. Come on.
Yeah. And they don't do that anywhere else. Like Luca's already talked about how, you know, you playing FIBA or EuroLeague or whatever, like they'll let you bang. You know what I mean? Like they have a lot of contact there. So I don't know. It's things that need to change. But while we're on this Jokic meat sucking rant right now,
That's crazy.
There's been talk around, you know, just media. Really, this is just media specifically. If we have a Heat and Nuggets finals, would this be good for the game of basketball? You know, we have two teams that pride themselves on execution. Would it be good? Would you watch this?
What's that even supposed to mean? Like, it's two. Well, okay, the Heat have been, but that was the bubble. Like, these are two teams of like recent history, and you know, when we've had full stadiums, blah blah blah. Like, two new teams into the finals. Like, of course, that's good for the game. Like,
I think it's good for the game.
Instead of what I thought, you know, we would have saw the Lakers or the Warriors back in the finals, and I mean, okay, the Celtics can make it back, but they had a poor showing last year, so
I think the ratings will be mediocre, but I think it's good for the game.
I'll second that. I don't believe there's going to be that allure. You know, we have females out there that watch the finals just because Steph was in it. You know what I mean? Like, it is just the fact of the matter. Like, Jokic, he's a businessman. You know, he's very, very Kawhi-like in that way. Shows up to work, gets the job done. Jimmy Butler, you know. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. I'm trying not to be. He's all NBA. He's all NBA guy. But at the same time, I don't know if he has that superstar allure that, you know, the top 15, top 20, top 25, top 30, top 35 guys have.
Maybe that's the problem we have. Like, we have a two-time MVP in the finals. Like, if that's not good for the game, then like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm off the Jimmy stuff, but we have a two-time MVP like in the finals. Like that, if we don't want our top superstars in, like, then are you really a fan of the game anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I think Yoke was second team, you know, with all that being said, but it's a position game.
Well, I mean, okay, never mind. MVP.
What's wrong with you, Morgan? Did you just say that he's not a top 25 guy?
I'd have to think about it, yes. I'd have to think about that.
Jimmy Butler is not a top 25 player.
I can't think about it. Like,
no, you can't think about it.
I can't think about that.
No, you cannot. No.
Wow.
It's really more to think about if he's a top 10 player, top 5. Like
Gino P.
Gino P. If he takes him to the finals,
they were really both second team.
What now?
Jimmy and Nick, like Jimmy is second team. All NBA.
Yeah.
Like, so
And he literally went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. The finals
in 2020,
3 years ago. Yeah, 3 seasons ago. So he had a finals, a break, an Eastern Conference Finals, and then maybe another finals this year. Or another finals this year. I'll go ahead and say it. Like, come on now. Top 5. You're gonna look up his stats. Oh my god.
brought up Saints. All right. Let's move on. We have the don't we have the Kyrie and Luka situation to talk about.
You're correct, Miles. We do have a lot more to talk about. So I won't waste too much time. You know, I definitely won't waste too much time here. You know, that's a debate for another day.
Wait, the Saints is literally. Never mind. If Saints is not in Jimmy Butler's favor, then like I don't even understand. Like Saints isn't valid, then you know. It's not.
I'm gonna keep moving. Because I definitely could get into a whole diatribe about that. The All NBA teams were egregious, though. Anywho, now we have y'all's boy. I get the Sixers' next head coach. Apparently, everything like that. Got on this podcast and said that Anthony Davis is not an alpha player in the NBA. Okay, what do y'all think?
He's not.
Because
he's just like, it's not that he's not a dog. Like, he's a very good player, but he's just not. Actually, no, it is that he's not a dog. Like that. And that actually is exactly what it is. Like, he's a great player, great talent, great ability, but he just doesn't have it anymore. Like he used to have it. Like in that finals run season, like throughout the whole season.
Yeah,
he was dominating people, like physically dominating them. Now, like he be falling on the ground. Like I don't enjoy watching him play anymore. And he's on my favorite team, like one of my favorite players, but he pisses me off to watch him because he's so soft. Like he's so soft to be so big and so good. It just makes me super upset. So no, he's not an alpha. No.
Yeah, I can second that. Not an alpha. He likes to have all these disappearing acts, especially nowadays. Like, yeah, he used to when he was on the Pelicans and the early seasons with the Lakers. Like,
it was like that. Yeah,
every night, like he would be coming out just giving buckets. And now it's like, oh, one night he's good, and then the next night, 10, 12 points or something. Or then regular season, like it's I give him props because during the playoffs, like. He was fine. Like I don't think he took any game. He wasn't out any games, right? So like, whereas in the regular season, he falls to the ground and he's out a week, just like that. And
I'll second that though, Miles. You mentioned the Pelicans. Like to call him not an alpha during that Pelicans run, where he catapulted them to the playoffs, a playoff berth, that would be wrong. Like that's just simply wrong. Numbers are alpha, of course, but my thing is this: like he's been on a LeBron James ran team for the past couple years. There's no room for any other alphas when LeBron James is on the team. Like we can talk about how old he is.
But this is like this Lakers.
I don't agree though.
Yeah, you can't.
Who's been an alpha on a LeBron-led team?
D-Wade was.
D-Wade.
That's crazy. That's a crazy statement to make.
He wasn't
not at the beginning.
An alpha.
At the beginning.
An alpha.
Yeah, when he first came,
they were codependent.
Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't make
there's no alphas then. I mean, then I guess there's no alphas then. Like, if they're codependent, what do you mean?
I'm saying like. When we talk about alpha, of course, mentality comes into play. But when LeBron's on the team, the last game that we just played, LeBron had a 40-point triple-double. Anthony Davis still cannot do that. So my point is that LeBron is the alpha. He's going to be the alpha on the team. That's just how it is.
I mean, he's not a better player than Anthony Davis. Like, not now. Like, he's just not.
But when we talk about alpha, I think of a leader. You
He's
know
more
what
of
I'm
a
saying?
leader.
Put the
Yeah,
team
he
on my
is
back.
more.
I'm
He
the
is
one
more of
that's
a
going to
leader.
take you there. I don't know how you would
That's
do
why
that
he.
on LeBron's team.
That's why he's not one. Like he's not. Obviously, he was during our last finals run. He was the best player. He didn't win the finals MVP. He was the best player throughout the season, the playoffs, throughout every series except for the last one, because that's when you get the award. LeBron had to. Anyway, he had to. But
I don't know if that's alpha.
He wasn't alpha during that season.
I just don't know, we talk about alphas, but anywho, let's keep moving. I don't want to spend too much time because do I have another slide? No, I think this is it. No, I think we'll definitely end here. Get a maybe 10-minute discussion about Kyrie Irving. But first and foremost, for the context, of course, D'Angelo Russell has been reported that the Lakers are not bringing him back. Unfortunately, Big Jew. D'Lo, he helped us get into the finals. I mean the playoffs. Made a great run at that stretch of the season when we had him. Had some good showings in the playoffs as well, but I think the Lakers are trying to move on from him. So it bars the question of who do we target next? But we can't be talking about the Lakers because again they're in Cancun. So I want to focus this more on Kyrie, right? So Kyrie, there's been developments every day about his situation with the Mavs, the possibility of a sign and trade somewhere else. Mavs, they're planning to build around him, but they're also saying that they're not going to facilitate another sign and trade, meaning they're not going to help Kyrie out in any way with that scenario. So they'll send him to Indiana, if he wants to slide. Where should Kyrie look to? Should he look to stay or should he look to go? Let's keep it there first.
I mean, if they can build around Kyrie and Luka, then I feel like that's a good situation to be in. I don't know what the team chemistry is like. I don't know about all that stuff. They just get thrown together at the deadline. So that, I feel like that's not really a good test of what it will be. But I mean, yeah, it's not really getting much better than that. He comes to the Lakers, but we have to get rid of everyone. So it will be LeBron, him, and AD, and then who else?
Reeves.
He's going to be gone probably. We can't pay all that money.
We could keep Reeves, but we couldn't keep Hachimura.
Okay, so it'll be Kyrie.
I'm not knowing if y'all can keep Reeves, because it sounded like it sounded like teams want to give him a bag this year,
Kyrie, Reeves, Bron, and AD, and I don't even know who, because they have to go. Those other guys have to go. Everyone else who plays has
pretty
to.
Right.
Not pretty much. They have to. Literally. We don't have any more money. LeBron gets 40, AD gets 40, Kyrie gets 40, 30, something.
Reeves gets 20.
Reeves gets 20. There's not anything really left. It's going to be all garbage players. I feel like that's just going to be another Sun situation where you have no team to support you around the superstars. And especially with these guys, LeBron, Kyrie, and Anthony Davis, you expect all of them to be healthy? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I love Kyrie. I would love to see Kyrie on my team under these circumstances. I don't know if that's our move.
I'm not knowing if that's going to be our move.
I think Kyrie should, the Lakers deal, yeah, it probably isn't the move. It probably for the Lakers org itself, it's probably not until I think that Kyrie maybe should sign a 1+1 with a player option. Stay with the Mavs one more year. Try and run that. Try the experiment out because they didn't, even though it was pretty bad post trade deadline. They need. I want to see at least one more year with them, but that's from a fan perspective. You see two great guards go together, and it's you want to see what Luka can do with another actual superstar and give him a season because they didn't really play together that much either. It was kind of like the Sun situation too. KD had went to the team, but he played 10 games with them before the playoffs. Whereas like, yeah, Luka and Kyrie, like they were trading games to take off, like so they barely played with each other. So run it back one more year.
I'll hit y'all with something that I know Julian won't like, but what if you could bring in a DeAndre Ayton over there, as a starting five for the Kyrie and Luka, issue that they got? Could that work for a finals team? Really?
No, if we want to talk about weak players, like that's weak player team captain. Like,
Okay. With that being said, though, who do you get to build around these guys? Like we talk about some, I guess free agents out there, people looking to move. Like we talk about some, Jay Crowder. You know what I mean? Like what do you get exactly to put around these two?
I don't know. Not DeAndre Ayton. I know DeAndre Ayton is garbage. Let's not do this. Like, I don't think that Kyrie would even stand for that on his team. Like, I can't. Like, I'm serious. Like, I remember when Kyrie was playing with Ben this year, and he was getting pissed off. Like, because why are you acting like that as a grown man? Why are you playing so soft? Like, I don't think he could coexist with DeAndre Ayton. I really don't.
Well, they need some type of big. I mean, Jokic is showing the world that if you don't have one, then yeah, it's gonna be blender time. Like,
yeah, but it's blender time on DeAndre Ayton too. So
Brooke Lopez is a free agent.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's unrestricted or restricted.
He's unrestricted. I saw people saying the Lakers should get Brooke Lopez. I thought that even makes more
sense. I was thinking about getting Brooke over DeAndre Ayton. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Brooke, he was up there for Depoy, and
Brooke's a good player.
Brooke's definitely a good player.
3 and D big, yeah.
That's
cool. He could work on any team. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just for me personally, I know we only saw a small sample size, but we have to understand the Mavs, they were in playoff position when Kyrie got there. And then they just they
plummeted.
They never played together. Like they did not play together.
I guess, but look, I don't know what type of duo that is, man. I'm sorry. What type of duo is that?
First one, like run it back one more year. If it doesn't work, then
what is he?
Both of them.
What's the alternative? Coming to the Lakers,
the Magic, the Pacers, like
right, like garbage orbs. Not the Pacers, but like the Magic, like no.
Or the pay cut, really. And and then it all boils down to the conversation of what Kyrie wants, when we go down that rabbit hole, you never really know. You really never really know. He told us to stop talking about him. So I don't know.
That's not gonna happen though. Like, just shut up. Like, just make a decision.
Also, the Lakers might just run it back, dude. Like, one thing about the Lakers, like I saw they said they're not pursuing a max extension with D'Lo, but like he may just have to get a 1 year deal now. Because he's done, but like, the last series was just so terrible. Like he played himself out of it. Like he had it locked up. Like that was terrible. Like he had a $20 million plus year extension locked up, and he played himself out of it in 4 games. But it happens, I guess.
I like D'Lo, but I think it's time. If he is gonna stay, it would be time for him to take that step. Like there should be no reason why this guy is not a 25-8 type of player.
5-8, Morgan. He doesn't like. He doesn't have the uses to do that. Like there is not enough ball for him to get 25-8.
I'm talking about regular season. Like LeBron's not going to play that much. Like he can't. Like
even regular season, like no.
I mean,
he still runs through LeBron like that. Yeah.
Like I mean, we saw it. Like when we got like D'Lo was running point guard for most of the season. And then we got to the playoffs. Immediately his usage started, getting lower because LeBron's taking more of the ball, which is fine. Like that's going to happen. But like in turn, he turns into an off-ball player. Like I mean, I've said this for years about LeBron. Like yes, like the guys around him sometimes have to change their role because he's so ball dominant, which sometimes will decrease how good they are. Like this is an example. Like I think that taking him off the ball and turning into a jump shooter didn't help him at all. Same with like people said Kevin Love got garbage. I don't think Kevin Love got garbage. I feel like what's it called?
Miles, I just want to talk to you.
Him being turned into a jump shooter.
Miles, I want to talk to you.
Miles.
I want to talk to you because the biases that come through on this podcast have to cease. They have to stop. Okay, they have to stop. Because when I got on here and I told y'all that we turned Russell Westbrook into a corner jump shooter, and that's not his game,
That's not true, bro.
They threw stones at me. They threw stones at me.
True. Number one, that's not true.
That's not true.
Russell Westbrook wasn't a jump shooter for the Lakers. Like that's not true.
He was.
D'Lo actually was a jump shooter. Like he literally was he was actually spotted up in the corner.
But then he became he was a bit of a defensive liability as well.
Oh no, that's true. But like he's not a good defender. Like that's part of his game. Like he's not a great defender. But
what did he do to Westbrook?
Westbrook we did take him off the ball some, but he wasn't not all the time. He still played.
Not all the time.
Don't do that. He played point guard in the regular season. Even D'Lo played point guard. Like that was not the scenario. Russell Westbrook was just not good for the Lakers. He was a bad fit because we had no spacing.
We pick and choose. We're picking and choosing.
I didn't say Russell Westbrook was a garbage player. He was garbage for the Lakers, though. Like that's true.
The spacing was terrible.
He wasn't a bad player, but he's bad for the team. Like we have AD who can't shoot. LeBron can't shoot threes anymore. Like even in the regular season, he didn't shoot well from three. Westbrook obviously he can't shoot to save his life. Like
poor. Like
team just didn't. The team didn't work. The team did not work. So it wasn't like
goes to the Clippers and immediately not only shoots better than LeBron.
It's just more shoot, but like they have more shooting around that team, anyways. Like they
have the most shooting in the league.
Yeah,
they're literally the best based team in the league.
But Russ can't shoot to save his life. I'm getting confused. I am getting confused.
No, not his shooting.
You play on a LeBron James team, you have to change your game, right? And you're going to be put off the ball more. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, he goes to the Clippers, and now he's shooting better than LeBron, and he's shooting better than D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis. So
when did he shoot better than D'Angelo Russell?
In the playoffs.
Okay, barring the last series, D'Lo shot over 40% from three. Like he went very cold in the last series, but that's just not a true. I don't think that's a true savior. I'm not gonna lie.
When it mattered the most on God, he was better than D'Lo. But anywho,
what did Russ shoot in the playoffs?
Huh?
What did Russ shoot in the playoffs? And they played one series.
It's a good thing we have stat muse. Let's see if I have.
I agree, but like they played one series.
Let's see.
He did play one series. They played like 5 games, right?
Let's see. What percentage from three did Russell Westbrook shoot in the 2023 playoffs?
It's like 37.
During one series.
It's like 37.
37, you say?
36.
36? All right.
7.
All right, then.
What did D'Lo shoot? What did D'Lo shoot? I actually want to know.
What did he shoot?
No, he was breaking in the last series, but prior to that, he was over 40.
In the playoffs, Julian?
Yes, it was over 40.
No.
Yes,
no. See, we get into these stats. I've been in the show.
Okay, he shot 31% from the three. Like
31
in totality. But
yeah, that's probably accurate. In the last series, he didn't hit any. He was like 5% probably. Like he was terrible. So yeah, that makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, we pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? But the biases, they come into place, right? I have complete and utter clarity. I have complete clarity on the situation that is, But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this off. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and end this off because we get into this. We can get into it though. We definitely can at a later day. At Take 5 Pod everywhere. Make sure y'all follow us on social media. Twitter, Instagram, right? Facebook, Twitch, all of that. We will see y'all next week, 11 a.m.